Hello everybody and welcome back to Nerf This Patch. Almost Christmas week here and man, you know what? I just want to get right into it. I don't even want to have introductions. I mean, I'm not in the best mood, I won't lie. This has been on my mind for a while. Okay, so Cyberpunk came out last week, and so far I'm enjoying the game. I can't enjoy it on PC because my graphics card is totally the bottleneck in this situation, so I'm playing it on Xbox Series X, and so far I'm enjoying it. It's not my personal kind of game, like I don't like the Western RPG stuff, but I'm enjoying the game. It is not bad. I have no critiques about it so far. I haven't run any issues. I think the game looks fine. I'm pretty happy with it so far. But here's what's bothering me about the response. Obviously, the game was not up to snuff on older generation consoles, and I have my own ideas on what they could have done to fix that. I think, looking back, they probably should have just focused on making it a current gen title and making it next gen later, instead of vice versa. One, because you have a wider audience with last gen, and maybe it won't look as great as you envision it, but that's what next gen, later generations are for. You can do it later, and it doesn't hurt anybody. You think that Last of Us 1, when that came out in 2013, like a couple months before the PS4 came out, that they didn't, that putting it on PS4 later didn't help them instead of just delaying it and hoping it was going to look the best way they could? No, I think it worked out really well. My problem is that there are a lot of people who are mad at CD Projekt Red. I wouldn't even say that. There are a bunch of people who are mad at them because they put out a version on the original consoles that just is not up to snuff. And the PC version also is buggy as hell. And on one hand, this does kind of piss me off. Not really a lot. I don't really have a thing against like shitting on companies. I understand that what they were going through, they were being ambitious, and there was a lot of development that went into this, and they had a deadline that was really hard to meet, and they did the best they could. And this game will get better. Everybody forgets that The Witcher 3 was a mess when that first came out. I have nothing against that. I think that the bugs will fix themselves. With a game this ambitious, you need to expect this. What I don't understand is that there are a lot of people who are defending this company, and they're defending this game, and they're saying that, like, they're saying these things. They're like, oh, the game will get better, and blah, 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 blah. I'm actually more on the side of the... I don't feel this way, first off. I think CD Projekt Red is fine, but I understand the people who are pissed off that CD Projekt Red created an unfinished game, and they're pissed. I mean, they even admitted, CD Projekt Red even admitted that they should have paid more attention to the game as a whole. And, you know, we're going to just take a look at it real quick. Like, let's take a look at what they said. Okay, so, first of all, we would like to start by apologizing for not showing the game on base gen. My sound on here? Yeah. On base gen before it premiered, and in consequence not allowing you to make more informed decisions about your purchase. We should have paid more attention to making it play better on PlayStation and Xbox. We are here to fix bugs, blah, 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 blah. We would like anyone to be satisfied with their purchase if you give us a chance, but if you're not pleased with the game, you can return it. Okay, so clearly they fucked up. And I don't even think they fucked up that bad. The game, I mean, again, the game for me has been running fine, but I'm also playing it on a Series X. And I appreciate that they are owning up to what happened, and they are offering these refunds. They're not doing anything. They haven't done anything wrong since. I know some companies, No Man's Sky's developer, that really fucked up, you know, post-launch. And I think CD Projekt Red's doing it right. You weren't happy with the game, here are the refunds, we're sorry. We want to build back their trust. In their own words, they're saying the amount that it costs to build back the trust is irrelevant. And I love that. They're saying all the right things. But it got me thinking, there are so many people defending CD Projekt Red, and I understand that. I agree more with the people who are mad that don't accept this as, like, their trust is broken with this. And then I look at those same people who are shitting all over Naughty Dog for The Last of Us, and it makes no sense. It actually pisses me off. You can't... Hating The Last of Us, but not hating CD Projekt Red makes no sense to me. And this is not a bias of I prefer Naughty Dog over CD Projekt Red. I hope both companies succeed for the next 20 plus years. But the reasons that people are mad make more sense for CD Projekt Red, and they make no sense for The Last of Us Part 2. So you have The Last of Us Part 2 that is hated for its ambitious story, and I will never, ever, ever, ever criticize a game for being ambitious. I appreciate taking a leap where games are very, very safe for the most part. And The Last of Us decided this is the story that we want to tell. We've earned the credibility that we are great storytellers. We've created one of the greatest games ever made with one of the greatest stories ever made. And we're going to do something that no game has ever done before. and it's going to piss a lot of people off, but that's kind of the point. We want to pull at people's heartstrings because they care so much, and we want them to keep caring. And I'm totally down for that. People want to argue that there are other Game of the Year nominees that had better gameplay. I'm not disputing that. From a story perspective, The Last of Us Part 2 was the best game of the year. It wasn't close. It was not close. And now you have Cyberpunk, and I'm not going to talk about the game's quality. I think the quality is fine. I'm not here to compare the two games. But all the hate for it is nowhere near as toxic. It's nowhere near as angry that Naughty Dog is getting, and that doesn't make any sense at all. You should be more mad about a company that put out an unfinished game than a company that was ambitious and successfully distributed what they wanted to distribute and tell the story that they wanted to tell. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you don't like first off, one last thing real quick. I don't give a fuck what your opinion on The Last of Us is unless you've beaten the game. So if you watch somebody play it, or you read reviews online, or you've heard the story from somebody else, I don't give a fuck what you have to say about this game. Unless you can show me your trophy on your PlayStation account that shows that you beat the game, your opinion doesn't mean dick to me. I've kind of had it with all the people online who are like, I didn't even play the game, it doesn't matter. Like, shut the fuck up. I don't care. On the likewise of CD Projekt Red, I don't think you have any criticisms of the game unless you bought it. I think that you have to own the game to make a single remark about it. I think that's fair. You can't bitch about the game's a buggy fucking mess and it's a waste of money if you didn't even buy it. Own the game, buy the game, say whatever the fuck you want after that. Just like how people cannot complain about the last one. I have plenty of friends who hate this game, and they beat the game, and they have their opinions are totally valid. They don't have to be the same as mine. I don't care about being right, but they have to beat the game to talk shit about it. And I don't like talking shit about it, but they have earned the right because they have purchased the game, played the game. Valid. CD Projekt Red, same thing. But the hatred behind Naughty Dog and the lack of hatred towards CD Projekt Red, as much as I don't want hatred in general, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. You should be more mad at CD Projekt Red for putting out an unfinished game than you should be at Naughty Dog for putting out an excellent story that you just didn't like. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. It's like when Battlefront came out, Battlefront 2, and everybody was shitting on EA for the microtransactions. That makes sense. There's nothing wrong with hating a company for bad business practice, which putting out Last of Us story was not bad business practice. Like, the game is still excellent. It's Game of the Year for a reason. CD Projekt Red, another example. I was very pissed when Assassin's Creed, the CEO for Ubisoft came out and said, okay, well, we're just going to keep making Assassin's Creed until people stop buying it because it sells every year and it doesn't really matter what the quality is. Hardcore paraphrasing, but that was basically the attitude. And I was like, fuck that. I'm done with Assassin's Creed. That's bullshit. No Man's Sky, false advertisement. Even though I didn't personally hate the game when it first came out, I totally understand being pissed about it. I totally get that. But those are business decisions that piss people off. Marvel's Avengers is a Destiny clone. Destiny alone is like designed to piss me off, and that's why I hate it, because it's not even a great game on the surface. It's microtransaction heaven, and I don't like that, and I'm mad about that. I'm not going to go online and shit talk them for it. I'm just going to openly say that I hate Destiny. I don't like what Bungie's become. Whatever. But you can't criticize a company severely. First off, you shouldn't in general, but you can't do it based on story. You can't do it based on the gameplay's not up to snuff. You can dislike it, you can stop playing it, and you don't have to buy the rest of the games from that. But Naughty Dog is being treated unfairly. I think CD Projekt Red is getting the benefit of the doubt, which I'm glad, but I don't know if they deserve it. I think other people who don't think they deserve it are totally valid. I hate Arkham Knight, but I don't hate Rocksteady because they didn't do anything wrong. Arkham Knight's just a bad game. It doesn't make any sense. You can't hate Naughty Dog but not hate CD Projekt Red. And the reasoning behind it is why gamers make no sense to me anymore. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You should be mad if you're a hardcore Cyberpunk fanboy and you own that game on Xbox or PlayStation and the game's a mess because it doesn't even operate. You should be more pissed off about that. That's a totally valid reason to be upset with a company. I completely support that. Your trust with that company is destroyed. They put out a product that was not what you paid for. Refund it. Do whatever you want. I don't believe the company deserves harassment, but you're allowed to say, I don't want to buy CD Projekt games anymore because they broke my trust. They even admitted that. They even said they lost their trust with their consumer base. Naughty Dog didn't do that. I don't know what Naughty Dog did wrong in this. They made a story pluck at your heartstrings, and all these sensitive snowflakes just freaked the fuck out about it. I'm not here to defend Naughty Dog. I'm not here to defend The Last of Us. I'm here to point out that most gamers who go online and shit talk don't even know why they're shit talking. They don't. If you can't talk, you're not allowed to talk shit about Last of Us Part 2 unless you beat it, and you're not allowed to talk shit about CD Projekt Red unless you bought the game. Plain and simple, that makes the most fucking sense to me. I'll never understand why we just decide that we want to crucify both of these companies for doing something that, quite frankly, very few people on this planet can do. I have nothing but respect for both companies. If I had to pick one that I'm more upset at, I'm definitely picking CD Projekt Red because the game doesn't run. It doesn't run properly. That's way worse. That's way worse. And it will run eventually. So this criticism doesn't even make any sense now because it will get better. So I'm not even mad at them. If you are mad at them, I understand, but like eventually you have to get over it because the game will get better and that purchase will eventually be worth it. But The Last of Us, hey, this is the last time I want to talk about The Last of Us. I'm going to talk about it in my top 10 games of the year for my personal favorites, but I wish people understood what they were actually upset about. I wish that people understood that you shouldn't, all this criticism, all this hate, all this shit talk, Naughty Dog doesn't deserve it. Companies like EA deserve it because they literally don't care about you. They literally don't care about your wallet, and unfortunately, a lot of people are, Madden sold more than any other Madden in history, and people don't care, and it's a shame. But you're allowed to hate them for making bad business decisions. I said it before. I would not buy EA games because they didn't understand, like they didn't respect me. CD Projekt Red does, and they put out a game that was not up to snuff, and if you are upset about that, you are allowed to be upset about that as long as you bought the game. If you didn't buy the game, shut the fuck up. Nothing you say matters. If you didn't beat Last of Us 2, shut the fuck up. Nothing else matters. It just bothers me. The harassment behind these two, even though I agree that you're allowed to be upset if you bought Cyberpunk and it wasn't up to snuff, I don't believe you need to harass. Just refund the game and just say you're not going to buy CD Projekt Red games anymore. I think that's totally valid. But to just go online and scream on Twitter that Last of Us Part 2 is this sexist and pushing social justice agenda that killed off one of our beloved characters, blah, 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 spoiler alert. What, do you not have anything better to do? This game's, I mean, clearly they don't care. They're Game of the Year for a reason. The Game Awards opinion, even though we've talked about it, is more valid than yours. A committee of 90 plus people is far more, that work in video games are far more valid than your ass and my ass and everybody else's, especially the people who didn't even beat the fucking game. Like, get over yourselves. If you're upset as CD Projekt Red, you have a right to be, but enough with the harassment. Enough with the harassment. My point being is that you can't be mad at Naughty Dog and then not be mad at Cyberpunk. You should only be mad at Cyberpunk. And if you didn't enjoy Last of Us Part 2 and you just don't want to play it anymore and you don't want to buy Naughty Dog games for that reason, that's totally fine. I don't understand it, but you can do that. But that makes far less sense than not buying CD Projekt Red games because they were unfinished. The point I'm trying to make is get over it. Making video games is really hard to do. The harassment, the toxic criticism, keep it at the door, especially if you didn't even purchase either of these games. I am really excited to be Cyberpunk. Even though it's not my kind of game, I am enjoying myself a lot more than I thought. I have nothing negative to say about the game itself. I'm simply saying being mad at Naughty Dog for being ambitious and successfully executing what they wanted to do, but not being upset at CD Projekt Red for putting out a game that was unfinished that you bought and is not running the way you intended it to, it just shows that nobody really understands what they're bitching about, and it sucks. That's all. So, man, what a what a long day of just messes to come with the CD Projekt Red situation. And I hope they pull it off because, again, I think they're a good developer. We'll see where that goes. So thank you guys so much for listening and keep on gaming.